this is my car. It is a 2008 Volkswagen Rabbit Trendline, 2.5 liter, two-door, hatchback. I bought it 10 years ago, I think, for $16,000. I went to the dealership after getting my second job out of engineering school. I was working with airplanes and I was driving to the airport every day. I needed something a little better than my Corrado, something that I put together myself. Oddly enough, I didn't have $16,000 plus tax to throw down on a car, so I picked the one I wanted, that one, and I sat in an office and we went through financing. I showed them all of my pay stubs, all of the money I've made, all the money I had in my bank account, everything that you would need to be approved to make monthly payments on a vehicle that you want to buy from a car dealership. The loan on that car, thankfully, paid off years ago. Probably not gonna make a purchase that big again for a really long time. It's like a huge life commitment. I'm never gonna have that kind of money sitting around, so you know, when you're looking at objects with that kind of price tag, you're always looking at finance. Now, this is the Pivot Switchblade. Well, you can spec it out to $13,399 US dollars. $17,093.31 in a currency that I can understand. CAD. And I just kind of have one question. Who the f is buying these things? And that is a sincere, truly, I want to know the answer to this question. Because Pivot is not the only company that is making bikes with that kind of astronomical, unbelievable price tag. How can there be that much demand for that level and that cost of bike that all of these companies can create models in all of their lineups for people to like, you can shop. You don't have one choice, you have unlimited choice. It's insane. Have you bought a bike that expensive? What's it like? I recognize that the comparing a economy car from however long ago to the price of a brand new top-end, highly developed mountain bike, road bike of any sorts is a relatively tired, uncreative argument, comparison. I get that, but let's be honest, someone in my situation, it's a heck of a lot easier to get a decent interest rate on a car loan than it is to get probably even a loan in general on a $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 mountain bike. So in a way, it kind of becomes a fair comparison in a way. Now, for me, even if the potential of owning one of these absolute super bikes somehow became a little bit more feasible in the near future or whatever, similar situation I'm into right now, I think I would have to I'd have to pump the brakes on the idea. I'm hardly enough of a rider to extract any of the potential of one of those machines, all the engineering, all the time, all the testing, everything that went into it. I'd just be a disgrace on something like that. 2B, if you will, the price tag seems a little bit like a bit of a liability for going out and riding at your 100%. Doesn't it? Now, that's not me saying that I do huge hucks, that I'm a crazy bike rider, but you know, sometimes you ride over sticks and rip derailleurs off. Could you imagine getting like a $1,500 or like a $2,000 bill that you have to pay to get the drivetrain on your insane super bike running again? Or I have a real tendency of going over the bars. To pretty much every bike's credit, they all come out relatively unscathed when that happens. But imagine the financial liability that you'd be thinking about as you're going down. You're like, oh no, that's not fun. I don't want to deal with that. That's not fun. Oh, and not to mention, big fan of jumping, real big fan of casing. And casing jumps, that'll do some damage, no matter how good or bad you are on a bike. Just ask the lower headset cup on Dan's Vitas. It's bad. Simply put, if your Happy Fun Time machine has such a price tag that it becomes precious, and you're like, don't let it out too much, then it's not really your Happy Fun Time machine anymore. That's why every bike I build very much stays in the mid-level, the area, the price point that I can achieve full replacement on if something happens. If a stick goes through the derailleur, if I decide to low side it while going turning to the right, if I come up short, case, wreck something, I should, without a whole lot of hesitation, be able to be like, okay, time to go order some parts, or I have some parts at home, throw it back together, out riding again, as long as I'm not hurt. That, in my very humble opinion, is how you extract the most fun, the most enjoyment out of the stuff you buy or already have. And nothing I'm saying right now is groundbreaking or news to anybody. I think most people, when shopping, instinctively go, well, I don't need one that intense. I'll get the other one. I know I build bikes that way. I know the majority of people build and ride bikes in that way as well. And I would say that just about every bicycle manufacturer company that there is also knows that the majority of their customers are building and riding bikes like that, in that way, all the same. Community tab, spot there where people are bringing up topics. This is one of those topics. The influx of overpriced boutique parts and bikes. It's unreal what things are going for these days. Something which I have also noticed. And what I think is happening is the bike industry is taking some cues from the automotive industry and just creating halo bikes. If you're familiar with a halo car, it is like the top, the most technologically advanced, or like the craziest looking, or the most luxurious, the most expensive, no holds bar build that they could possibly do with a car, and they just put that on a pedestal. It is the car for the company. Like, for example, the Lexus LFA, ungodly expensive car, or the Ford GT from 2018 or something. Like, those are halo cars. Unbelievably expensive, unbelievably technologically advanced, and it's not the one that anyone's really gonna buy, but it is the one that gets all the media attention and all of the marketing attention. And the reason for it's really simple. You can see it in the numbers in YouTube videos. A video of a really expensive sports car is always going to do way better than any video about a Corolla. Here's the new 2022 Toyota Corolla. It's reliable and dependable. Enjoy. That becomes an ad. The supercar, for a lot of us, is entertainment. For 1% of the world, it's actually an ad. But for the rest of us, it's entertainment. It's actually something we want to see more of. And as much as I see gripe in the comments of pink bike videos, review channel videos, doing things on really expensive mountain bikes, like, oh, here's another expensive mountain bike, the views keep going up and people keep watching them. Companies don't need to market their lower end bikes. They already marketed the highest end one. You look that up and you can see what else is there. That's why you rarely see a lot of information or material on the other bikes. Show off the top end one, let it talk for the lower end ones. And that, in this one small YouTube channel's opinion, is why I think all this influx of insanely expensive stuff keeps coming down the woodwork. Someone, somewhere is actually buying it, it markets well, and well, probably the race people actually will use it. I don't know.